this one involves us actually pumping the lower stomach. We've got a second brain here, and if you can get this moving, get this energy moving, you'll be energized, and once again you'll be healed, because that's what it's all about. So even if you're healed already, you want to keep it that way. So it's called the breath of fire. So the motion that you'll be doing will, goes like this. It'll be so you're breathing through your nose, a bit like how a dog would pant. So whereas a dog would go, you're doing the same thing with your tongue in your mouth and going through your nose and pumping your lower stomach. If it helps, you can put your hands here so you can feel it. And if you bring the breath down, move the breath down into your stomach. So with the pumping, you'll feel it down here and throughout your system, rather than taking the breath up through to your head. So let's try that one. Favorites, and even before you get out of bed, you can actually do the breath of fire just while you're laying down. You don't have to get up, and for me and a lot of other people, you'll be instantly energized.
Yeah, so we're here today with another very interesting, dynamic person of African heritage, Phoenix Rise 100. And in my day job as a sports therapist, I tell a lot of my injured players when they're injured, what do I do, Fizz? Yoga. Excellent for stretching and for injury rehabilitation. Not that most of them listen, but you know, some of them, they see to their benefit. Yeah. So if you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm Phoenix Rise 100. That's the name of my website and my social media. The reason why I chose that name is because for me, I had to rebuild myself, and as you know, a phoenix destroys itself and rises from the ashes. So that's how I see myself, and I've done that through not just through yoga and meditation, but through connecting with my own inner self finally. Okay. I do work at a yoga studio, which is Dragonfly Yoga Studio, who is also a charity for young people, GMAX, Track Stars. It's for young ethnic boys, get them off the street, get them in running, just off the streets, and something to really get up for and strive for. So that connected with the yoga, because a lot of them do come to yoga and they realise, as you said, it benefits their training, less injuries, etc., etc. Yeah. So it's perfect mix.
So you mentioned about rebuilding yourself and things like that. So can you just take us through that journey of rebuilding, and what happened and how did you get to where you are now?
Okay, well, I'm 46 this year, and as I was approaching 40, I started to gain weight. I started to feel a little bit achy in certain areas, and that's never happened to me before because I've always been quite active. But after I have 3 kids, so you know that can take its toll, and I just wasn't looking after myself. I was just mum, and that was it. So my body started talking to me from about 39, and I finally listened, and it was just a click where I said, right, I've got to do something. But I knew it wasn't just a case of I have to lose weight, I have to go to the gym. I knew there was something else that I had to tackle, and once I changed my diet, for me that was the ultimate in rejuvenation, renewal. So it wasn't just weight loss, it was clarity. Because I'm a writer, all of that had been completely suppressed, because as you know, once your body doesn't flow right, nothing flows right. So the mental aspect was going downhill, the physical, everything. So that was when I said, right, I'm going to make a change, and that's what I did.
Okay. And you mentioned about going to the gym. Did you try a variety of different exercises and different training regimes before you discovered yoga? What was that journey like? How did you actually derive at yoga being the one for you?
I actually went from one extreme to another, because I used to power lift. because that's my body type. So it was, deadlifting and squatting with the bars and keep on adding and adding. And even though I still love that because my body loves that, I knew it was still like a form of destruction, that kind of yang, bang, bang, bang. So that's when I said, okay, I still need something. So if I started to do Tai Chi, which I still do with a great guy called Sifu, Mark Davis, martial arts, but I still knew there was still something that I needed to bring me right down. So when I saw Dragonfly Yoga Studio opening up near me, and I met the owner, it was just like, it was a sign from the universe. And I got straight into it, and then before you knew it, I was working there and practicing yoga. I try to encourage more ethnic groups, because they sort of see yoga as something that's, what the church opposes. Because my mum went into a panic when I said the word, because she thinks, oh, there must be some devilish, chanting, whatever. Yeah. Especially because I do Kundalini, which is a whole spiritual different aspect. So I just went to yoga and then took over.
Okay, all right.
So I just want to touch upon, you mentioned about that you changed the way you ate and things like that. Do you want to just talk us through about, where you've gone in terms of, obviously, what was you eating before and what are you now eating as a result of your now clean living?
Yeah, and that's a good word you use, clean, because for me there's too many, what are you? Are you vegan? Are you this? Are you that? And everyone's body's different. So what your stomach can tolerate, mine can't tolerate. What works for me doesn't work. So I realised gluten was just killing my stomach. All types of bread, pasta, I knew that had to go. So once I cut that out, I felt like literally within 48 hours I felt better. I do actually eat chicken and I eat fish, because I've never eaten red meat anyway, so it wasn't an issue. But I did kind of cut all the starchy foods out. And water. People don't drink enough water. You don't realise how much water your body actually needs. And then I stumbled upon intermittent fasting, which was the ultimate for me. And I'd encourage anyone to try that regardless what your actual diet is. Once the body stops eating for at least 16 hours, it can start to repair.
Right, okay. Just for anyone who doesn't know about intermittent fasting, can you just give a brief synopsis of how that operates?
Yeah, intermittent fasting you can start off with, say, 16 hours where you will fast, eat nothing, only drink water or tea, but no calories of any form. So it'd either have to be black tea, mint tea, any herbal tea without sugar. So for those 16 hours, you don't eat anything. 8 hours is the window in which you eat. So people think they could eat pretty much what they want, but that's not really the point, because you need the nutrients to maintain you for the 16 hours. So at my peak, I done a 20-hour with a 4-hour eating window while I was training. So that's what I was doing before the lockdown happened. And for me, that took me into a state of autophagy, which is where the body stops digesting, it starts to rest, it hasn't got anything to do. So it essentially runs around and starts eating the bad cells and replacing it with new ones, which you can reverse. You can reverse certain conditions, allergies, all sorts. It just clears the whole system. So that's what I would encourage anyone to try at least once.
Okay, excellent. And would you say that at the age of 46 now, would you say that you've added on any miles onto the clock, any extra years?
Absolutely. I'm living till about 100 at least. I'm aging backwards. I'm aging backwards.
So, just to touch on that, you said you're aging backwards. Give us an example of how you're aging backwards, please.
Just in terms of like what I can do now compared to what I could do at 30, how I feel, and I can just feel myself when I wake up. I jump out of bed, I do, and yoga that's longevity, because if you have a healthy spine, that's what's gonna make you go on and on and on, because it's actually your spine health and your mental health. Yeah. If you can touch your toes at 80, you can then touch your toes at 90, so forth. So yeah, I feel good.